Broncos country, you're not going to believe what happened after Nick Bonitto signed that monster $106 million contract. The guy literally dominated the field against the Titans and showed that every penny of that deal was well invested. But there's a lot more going on in this messy victory, and some situations that are going to make you worried about the future of the season. What's up, Denver Broncos family? Get your hearts ready, because today we're going to break down every play, every down, and every controversy of this 16-10 victory over Tennessee. And look, when I say it was a messy victory, it's because it really was a roller coaster of emotions that only true Broncos country can handle. First thing you need to know, Nick Bonitto is not playing around on the job. The guy had the most insane week of his career. Thursday, signs a $106 million contract with $70 million guaranteed. Saturday, closes a partnership deal with Nike. Sunday, goes out there and delivers a historic performance with 9 quarterback pressures against the Titans. Is that or not the kind of attitude we want to see from our guys? But let's start with what really matters, that defense that made the Titans more frustrated than Kansas City fans watching replays of our Super Bowl. Bonitto was simply relentless in the pass rush. The guy broke his own personal record for pressures in a game and still destroyed several runs by himself. Pat Surtain even said he feels confident just knowing that Bonitto is on the field because the guy has the ability to completely change the course of the game. And speaking of Pat Surtain, our candidate for Defensive Player of the Year continued doing what he does best, turning opposing receivers into ghosts. The guy didn't allow a single reception as the nearest defender in 34 coverage plays. That's right, family, 0 catches. This is the kind of dominance that makes the difference between a good defense and a historic defense. Now, let's talk about a situation that was making everyone nervous. What was going to happen without Dre Greenlaw in the middle of the field? You remember that the linebacker came in as one of the main reinforcements of the offseason, but got injured and didn't play against the Titans. The good news is that Justin Strnad came in and showed that this defense has depth. The guy made 5 tackles and even got a sack. Not bad for someone who was being questioned if he deserved to be on the roster. Riley Moss is also evolving on his own island, and Talanoa Hufanga continued making those hits that make the entire stadium stand up. The defense, even with the absences, worked like a well-oiled machine against Tennessee, but not everything was roses in this victory, Broncos country. Let's talk about the things that gave us that chill down our spine during the game. Bo Nix had some good moments, but also made 2 mistakes that almost cost us dearly. 2 interceptions while throwing on the move. And here's what's interesting. Most of his interceptions in practice also happened when he left the pocket trying to make difficult plays. The worst part is that the Titans themselves said during the week that they were preparing precisely for Nix to start running after the first read. In other words, they knew exactly what to expect. And even so, our quarterback fell into the trap a few times. This is something that needs to be adjusted quickly, because better teams will exploit this tendency without mercy. The offensive organization also left something to be desired, especially in the first half. There was a play that even became a meme on social media. Nix and Dobbins got completely confused on a handoff fake. One went one way, the other went the opposite way, and the result was a sack with a fumble that almost handed points on a silver. Platter to Tennessee. Sean Payton tried to minimize it by saying they only had 1 delay of game, but anyone who watched the game saw that there was much more disorganization happening. Now let me tell you about a positive surprise that appeared. In the second half, the running game finally worked. After a frustrating first half where Sean Payton seemed to have forgotten that running exists in American football, things changed completely after halftime. R.J. Harvey, the rookie that everyone was anxious to see, broke a tackle and burst for a 50-yard run. For you to understand the importance of this run, it was longer than any run that any Broncos running back managed in the entire last season. That's right, family. The guy in his 5th career attempt already surpassed everything we saw last year. J.K. Dobbins also woke up in the second half, especially with that 19-yard touchdown that showed all his experience. In the end, he carried the ball 16 times for 63 yards, solid numbers that show that when Peyton commits to the ground game, the pieces fall into place. The expectation is that this distribution between Dobbins and Harvey will change throughout the season. Harvey has that explosion that was missing in the backfield last year, while Dobbins brings consistency and experience. If Peyton can balance this right and not abandon the run in the middle of games, this offense can be much more dangerous. Jeremy Crawshaw also deserves special mention. After a preseason that left everyone worried, the rookie punter finally showed why he was selected in the 6th round. 3 punts, 48-yard average, and all well-placed. Darren Reese, the special teams coordinator, had a brilliant idea to interrupt practices for specific punt sessions, and apparently it worked perfectly. But not everything was perfect in special teams. Marvin Mims Jr. had an afternoon to forget. The guy who was one of our secret weapons at the end of last season couldn't repeat those magical performances. 3 receptions for only 12 yards, and on top of that, let a ball slip on an important punt in the 4th quarter. For a player who should be one of our main options in special plays, it was a disappointing performance. Tyler Beatty also had a complicated afternoon. The guy came in as one of the main options for 3rd down in the first half, but converted only 2 of the 6 passes directed at him. There was even a situation where he clearly irritated Nix for not having turned to receive the ball on a crucial 3rd down. In the second half, he practically disappeared from the game. It's impressive to see his recovery after that scary injury last year, but he still has work to do if he wants to keep Jaleel McLaughlin on the bench. What's up, Broncos country? Take advantage that you're here with me, breaking down every detail of this victory, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any analysis of the season. Because you know that every week there's exclusive content about our Denver Broncos family, and I need you here with me to follow every step towards the playoffs. Now, let's talk about what this victory means for the rest of the season. First, the defense showed that even with injuries, it can maintain the highest level. Bonitto is clearly motivated with the new contract and playing at an all-pro level. Certain continues to be the best cornerback in the league, and the depth at linebackers proved to be better than we expected. The problem is that we can't depend only on defense to win games. Bo Nix needs to stop with these silly interceptions. When he's under pressure, the offense needs to find more consistency, especially in the passing game. And Sean Payton needs to trust the running game more from the first snap, not just when the game is slipping away, but we also have to recognize the positive things. Harvey showed he can be the explosive playmaker that was missing in the backfield. Dobbins proved he still has gas in the tank. And when everything works together, like in the second half, this offense can be very dangerous. Next week we face Indianapolis, which also doesn't have a very robust passing game. It's going to be a good opportunity for Nix to gain confidence and for the offense to find more rhythm. If we can correct these silly communication and organization errors, we can get out of there 2-0 with positive momentum for the rest of the season. What makes me most optimistic is the attitude of the defense. Did you see the way they celebrated every tackle, every pressure, every stop? This is the energy we need in all sectors of the team. Bonitto is leading by example, showing that when you're rewarded financially, responsibility only increases. Wampy. Certain talking about the confidence he has when he sees Bonitto on the field sums it all up. That's how a championship team thinks, each player trusting the teammate next to him, knowing that everyone is giving their maximum for the Denver Broncos family. Of course, we still have a lot of work ahead. This victory against Tennessee was important, but it also showed that we have problems to solve. Offensive organization needs to improve drastically. Nix needs to learn to make smarter decisions under pressure. And some players like Mims and Beatty need to find their form quickly. But you know what matters most? A win is a win. And after so many years suffering with disappointing seasons, starting with a victory at home, even if messy, is already reason to celebrate. The crowd at Empower Field was in ecstasy at the end of the game. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when this team finally gets going and starts playing the football we know it's capable of? It's going to be a party that Denver hasn't seen in a long time. That's why I tell you, be patient with Bo Nix. Bonitto signed for $106 million defense, and already showed he's going to honor every penny of that contract. Keep believing. Now we need the rest of the team to have everything to be special, responsibility, these flaws, commitment, and results on the field. So, Denver Broncos family, what did you think of this opener? Are you optimistic about what you saw from the defense? Worried about Nix's interceptions? Do you believe Harvey can be the explosive running back we were missing? I want to hear each of your opinions in the comments. Hit the like if you agree that this defense can take us far this year. Share with that friend who is also true Broncos country, and subscribe to the channel because every week we'll be here, analyzing every play, every decision, and every controversy of our season. Until the next video, family, and remember, once a Bronco, always a Bronco. Let's go.